Oh shit, mosquito. Fuck off. What? I hit it. Send me to the NBA, bitch. My aim is impeccable. Hi, hello, welcome. My name is Saki, but you can call me Sai. And you might notice something a bit different today. I finally don't look constipated anymore. It's it's wonderful, let me just tell ya. Now, today we're fusing Itto and Klee, and I am so fucking excited. Also, I don't think I need to say this, but just in case, though I usually dedicate my fusion videos to my beloved Genshin sims, there shall be no simping of the small. Do you hear me? I do not tolerate that shit. Only good vibes for the babies. Thank you. With that being said, let's go, dweebs. Oh my fucking god. I cannot describe how happy I am to fuse these two because Genshin Impact has done us an injustice, man. Out of all the small character models, there are no boys to be seen. None! Am I to believe boys leave the mother's womb with a beard and a full expanse of chest hair and taillight? What's going on here? I mean, this is arguably one of the rare instances where you don't need to use another base model for the opposite sex, and there's so many good designs you could come up with, but they're just not doing it, and it's driving me nuts. So today, I am taking matters into my own hands. I hope my hard labor will motivate good old Hoyoverse to see the waste's potential, because holy shit, man, if there's anything that bugs me, it's fucking wasted potential. I always like to start my fusions with thinking of a concept so I can design a character around it. And this concept has to link Itto and Klee together somehow, so let's see what we're working with. Our first character is Arataki Itto, leader of the Arataki gang. He looks scary from a distance, but don't let his appearance fool you. Though he's the leader of a gang, he's well and truly a big, soft goober. Itto is a bit of a simpleton, but his heart is in the right place, and his smile can light up a room. Because of his good nature, it's no surprise that the children of Inazuma love playing with him. From card games to Onikabuto fights, he gives it his all and isn't embarrassed about playing kids' games. He's actually really vocal about it, and honestly, I wish we were all that comfortable with showing our inner child like that. We all have one, Itto just isn't embarrassed about it, and I think that's wonderful. That's not all there is to Itto though, because Itto is also a very proud man, especially of his Oni heritage. Historically, the Japanese Oni were seen as vile creatures, which might explain why there is such a stigma around the Oni race in Genshin. In Japanese mythology, Oni were believed to be evil incarnate, cannibals and bloodthirsty monsters that reveled in murder and bloodshed. In short, they were evil creatures without a moral compass, which is pretty much Itto's total opposite and something I find very interesting. Our second character can be described in 2 words: chaos, gremlin. Meet Klee, the ward of the Knights of Livonias and a notorious fish terrorist. This tiny ball of sunshine commits mass murder on the regular. I'm not kidding. Many a poor hilichurl have looked upon this innocent face as the light drained from their eyes. Klee is possibly the most terrifying child you'll ever meet, and I live for it. Never in a million years would I have looked at this child and have thought her capable of merciless slaughter. But look at me now. I sure look stupid. For example, she regularly throws bombs in water to fucking bomb fish. I'm not even sure if she eats them because her bombs have blown up a portion of land off of the damn map. And I don't know if those tiny fish bodies would have stayed intact after such a blast. She's terrifying. Klee scares me, man, but she's so cute. I just want to hug her and protect her, but clearly she does not need protection. If anything, we need protection from her. This might just be me overanalyzing this, but the way MiHoYo chose to present her destructive habits in a fun, happy, and playful way makes me think they did this on purpose. No, really, think about it. From a subjective view, the things Klee does are ridiculously violent in nature. But in her trailer, her actions are conveyed in a joyful and innocent way. And I think personally, this was done to convey how she sees her actions. Cause as a child, Klee doesn't have the foggiest that her actions could in any way be bad. This is what happens when you give a child too much power. She's like a toddler with a gun, and sometimes the scariest killers are also the most innocent. Or maybe I'm just overthinking it. Whatever the case may be, it's that destructive innocence that I'm going to use in this fusion. I'm very adamant about designing a young male character, so including that chaotic gremlin energy just felt right. Including that Itto is kind of a numbskull.
Don't worry, I'm invincible!
I think it's just perfect. Speaking of, you know what I think about when I think back to my childhood innocence? I remember believing that I could become a cowgirl ballerina for my job when I grew up, because I loved cowgirls and I loved cowgirls and I loved ballerinas. Like, remember when you were a kid and you wanted to be something outlandish, like Batman or a princess or a fucking cheese stick? I don't know. Chances are you dressed up as that particular thing at least once. A large part of this fusion's design is based on that exact concept. Let me explain my thought process a bit. Kids are kinda dumb, right? They idolize weird stuff and they let their fantasies and limited knowledge of the world guide them. That's why they need an adult. So, I thought it would be adorable for this character to try and be like Itto. And I know that sounds like a cop-out for a fusion with Itto in it, but it's gonna make sense, I promise. Itto is well known in Inazuma not only for his competitive relationship with the kids and his status as the leader of the Arataki gang, but also as the arch nemesis of Kujo Sara, the Raiden Shogun's right hand. And listen, I love A with all my heart, no Raiden hate here, booba suit, mwah, a thing of beauty. But I do not like how MiHoYo handled the aftermath of the Vision Hunter Kree storyline. Correct me if I'm wrong, because Genshin Impact is a really big game and I might have missed important lore, but we see very little resentment in-game after the Vision Hunter Kree has been lifted. The whole affair was nothing short of a tragedy, a waste of important resources and human lives, yet it's not really talked about, and that's really disappointing. While the Raiden Shogun was misinformed because a select group of corrupt officials decided to be assholes, her position unfortunately still holds her liable for what happened. Despite that though, everyone seems really happy when A goes out on a stroll during her character quest, which creates a huge dissonance that didn't feel right. It's just kind of swept under the rug after everything is over, which is a shame because it's such an interesting topic to explore and expand on. Now, granted, maybe everyone just wants to be on the Shogun's good side because, you know what, that's fair, she's scary, man. But I think it would do wonders to expand on A's character. But anyway, I'm getting off track. I felt like creating a character that does hold some anger towards the whole thing. In this case, rather childish anger. We're talking about a child here, with a vision, who must have been terrified during the Vision Hunter Kree because children are granted visions, which it just adds a whole layer of fucked up to the situation and makes me feel kinda icky. So, Itto, as Sara's very public arch nemesis, must have been like the coolest dude ever for this kid. The hero that stood up, the man, the myth, the legend, Arataki Itto. It's for this reason that I began thinking of ways to show this admiration towards Itto in the character's design. And by making him look like he's trying to be like Itto, as kids sometimes do, I thought I, got the nail on the head. Got the nail on the head? Is that how you say it? English is hard, man. To expand on the character further, I made it so that he shares Klee's tendency for trouble and mischief. Just by looking at his adorable schnoz, you can tell this little shit is up to no good because, unlike Klee, he also shares another character trait with Itto. His pride. Oh yeah, we're gonna give this character some spice. Kids have this thing where they might be a tad cocky when they excel at something or are special in some way. And getting a vision is a pretty extraordinary thing, which I think would make for a good reason to turn that belief into excessive pride. This is a negative trait I'm giving this character. He's a cocky, stupid little kid, and let's be honest, no one likes a brat. Flaws can make or break your character. Luckily for me, there are multiple ways you can write characters to be likable while still giving them obnoxious traits. You can turn the negative into something positive by making it funny, or you could give your character a solid core value that balances out the negative. You could even make it a learning experience by turning the slow erasure of the bad traits into character growth, which is a personal favorite. So which one are we going with? Well, this is actually pretty easy. Klee's happy bombing sprees and Itto's himbo vibes are both used as comedic relief. So we're giving their fusion the same treatment. Remember when I said I was going to give this little guy Klee's destructive innocence? Well, by making the Raiden Shogun or her army, who were the main enforcers of the Vision Hunt to create the bad guys, we create a narrative where this character plays the hero in his own little story. The only thing left to do is add a comedic element to this idea, and we end up with a really fun character. We make him a cocky, loud, and brazen young lad who never actually seems to succeed in his nefarious plans of thwarting the Shogun's army. Just picture this little shit running around the Kujo encampment, attempting to burn down watchtowers on the regular with fucking soldiers on his trail, only to trip and pants an angry soldier in an attempt to save himself from falling. I mean, he's at the perfect height to try and cling onto someone's legs. It's perfect! Boom! Peak tier comedy. Why aren't you laughing? I worked really hard on that one. Design-wise, I made some changes throughout to better set him apart and give him his own individuality while still keeping hints of both Itto and Klee in the character. The toughest part of designing one of the smaller characters is that it's easy to overcrowd them and make them hard on the eyes. But adding too few notable details makes them boring. One thing I was sure about though, Klee has these adorable ponytails tucked beneath her cap, and Itto's hair texture is to die for. So I wanted a wild, big ponytail to poof behind this character to complement his big personality. And I made his hair tie pokey because studs are a part of Itto's design and they also look awesome. The idea of adding fur to his cape followed soon after. Big, notable elements are actually great for character designs. They do well for recognizability, give your eyes something to focus on without getting tired, and it also calls the attention to his face and balances everything out. The Hawkeye dweebs under you might have also noticed that his cape isn't really a cape at all. It's a comforter that he's using as a cape. Children don't tend to have enough cash to buy a complete ensemble, so they tend to use whatever they can find that kinda looks like the thing they want to wear. In the same spirit, I thought the idea of this kid seeing a sharp, shiny rock lying on the side of the road and then deciding to glue it to his forehead to mimic an Oni's horn was fucking adorable. And stupid, like don't glue shit to your forehead, kids. It's not good for your skin. But it does sound like the kind of dumbassery Itto would partake in. It's got the same flavor of dumb, if this makes sense. Since he holds a Pyro vision, I started thinking about a fun way to incorporate the elements in the design. And then I had the most genius idea ever. Behold! A gourd! Okay, maybe I should elaborate a bit. Gourds are the cousin of cucumbers and squash, and are often hollowed out and try to hold liquid. What kind of liquid, you may ask? Oil. To spit fire. Yes, bitch. I'm making this character a short male catalyst user that spits fire. It's a thing of beauty, truly. I gave the gourd one of those pumpkin carving faces because gourds are the pumpkin's funky cousin, and I made him just as mischievous looking as our fusion character. To really finish that menace vibe this little fella embodies, I added spikes to his shoes to aid in the ancient art of shin kicking.
Well, I got pneumonia. So I think this video might go up a bit late. But I really enjoyed making this fusion, and I'd love to know what you guys think. Also, if anyone has any cool ideas for a name for this character, I'd love to hear them. Thank you so much for watching. Mwah! And until the next one, bye bye. Oh, I need a nap. I need a fucking nap.